Isn't it wonderful being right? Yes, you absolutely called it, and our young Jack, because we finally have a name, is indeed Jean-Luc's son. And all I can say is my heart broke for Picard and all those years missed.
It's terrible.
I'm not even mad there wasn't some alternately shocking daddy, because that look, you know the one? That was shocking enough.
Because he's my son.
And as incredible as that one was, let's talk about the reveal of Raffi's handler. Yeah, I called that one. Sadly, no one had it in the comments, so I'll claim that one around here. Though the fact Worf was trending on Twitter a few days ago lets me know loads of others saw that obvious twist. And it gladdens my heart. Hi and welcome back to Katie's Corner in Space and this week's new standout scenes for Picard Season 3, Episode 2, Disengage. Picard and Riker were quick defending themselves with transporter inhibitors and a plasma charge, which bought them some precious time. Thankfully, Seven's speech got Shaw off his butt, and he played the reluctant hero as our newest big bad took charge of the situation. And wow, what a way to introduce a villain. Seven had rumors to go on, and the firepower of the Shrike at the very least seems to have been accurate information.
40 isolated burst warheads, 88 plasma torpedoes.
Something loaded in primary position in the base, or technology unknown.
But that's not all that makes her terrifying. Vadic's attitude of relaxed confidence, which with that arsenal, let's admit she can back up, is alarming. She's simply menacing when we throw in the fact she's after young Jack of all trades, or at least of all crimes, and things just get exponentially worse. Though from the sound of it, he was playing more of a Robin Hood character than a pirate, so he's not that terrifying.
At worst, I'm a thief.
But it sure makes things complicated for our heroes. Vadic's hour countdown, trauma to the Titan, and the danger she poses to Shaw's entire crew is outstanding. I love the reason she's so threatening is that she just has more big weapons. Some might say entirely too many. It's almost unbelievable one ship, one villain could have such firepower at hand, but it is what it is, and the Titan is screwed. Meanwhile, back on Metalis, Raffi is unraveling a conspiracy created by who? We don't know. But Raffi does know a piece of the puzzle doesn't quite fit and has an in with her ex. Despite orders to stop investigating, she meets with questionable Ferengi Sneed. Not only does she end up having an eye full of happy light, but she gets caught out in a bad lie. I mean, it was a bad lie. Connecting herself to the one person this fellow was supposed to have been dealing with. If anyone would know something about Larak Taluko, you'd think it would be the Ferengi implicating him in a horrific crime. But without her poor decision making, we wouldn't have gotten this moment. Another one we knew was coming because I knew that was Worf the moment the handler started answering so succinctly. Since Data's gone, that only left Worf with such a concise way of speaking. You could literally hear him in the responses last week, yeah? And I'd like to add, for a pacifist, he seems to be quite handy with a blade. Well, of course he's had practice. But what an entrance, even for Worf. That was a fantastic scene and introduction to the current state of the Son of Moak. But the mystery of Jack, well, that one is a whole nother can of worms. And even though we saw it coming, that incredible moment of realization followed by Picard's simple declaration of a truth he'd only just now allowed himself to see, I honestly can say that moment doesn't just make the list here, but in all of Trek, it's going to have to go up there with when Kirk lost his boy David. The reason I say this is because throughout TNG, we often revisited the idea Picard never felt a need to have a family. His brother had taken care of that family obligation, if there is such a thing in the future. But as we know, that branch was cut and burned some time ago. So to not only know he has a son, but to also know he lost that many years. Well, I can say if it were me in his place, my ex and I would be having some words. 4-letter ones. All of them. So we have that conversation to look forward to between he and Beverly. Now, this week's honorable mention, quite frankly, surprised the hell out of me. And while I can't go so far as to say it made the show, it certainly added to the moment as Shaw not only seemed to have switched sides at Picard's proclamation, but changed his mind on a dime from, "It's not safe, we go by the book," to, "Of course we're going to save your son." That attitude switch, I'm guessing, has something to do with that psych eval Vadic hinted at. I certainly hope we get more on that in the future. And once again, I'm calling this episode a winner, full of incredible moments. I'm sincerely wondering how the Titan is going to get away from Vadic, because hide and seek only works for so long with your average bounty hunter, and as we can tell by her vessel, she's nothing close to average.
Follow him!
Seven is doing her best to walk the tightrope between what she knows is right and following Starfleet protocol.
Sir, you could be the hero who saved heroes. Or you could be remembered for being the captain who let two legends die.
I liked her better as a ranger, but she wanted to be part of Starfleet for so long, so even though I really don't think it's here she belongs, it's a much more compelling story watching her navigate this new role. Though being relieved of duty does not bode well if that's the role in which she's to continue. There is still a lot to get to. While we've been lucky enough to get fun Sydney moments,
Reverse tractor beam with anti-gravitational polarity phasing. Basically blunt force trauma. If my father taught me anything, there's no law of physics that can't be either weaponized or broken by another law of physics.
Thank you.
it really doesn't compare to having Geordi back, so I do hope he'll be making his grand entrance soon. Plus, we have no idea how Moriarty or Lore fit in, though I have a suspicion about Lore. I know we're only 2 episodes in, so it may be a little too early to call, but I do believe this season of Picard may end up topping any movie they've made. What's incredible is how many stories we are getting, none of which we would be able to be told with so much drama or detail if the story had been told in movie format. So I, for one, am exceedingly grateful we get this last adventure with one of my favorite childhood crews. And until the story continues next week, please enjoy more chit and chat about Star Trek in all its forms right here, and I'll see you there.